Nobody is going to connect this for you in time. Nobody is going to connect this for you in time. 3 oil shocks, 3 decades, 3 wars nobody asked for. And the same quiet 11% bite out of the American paycheck every single time, 1973, 1990, 2022. The news called them different names. The mechanism was identical. And the fourth one is already on the clock. 20% of the world's oil sits behind a single strait right now, and the first 2 fingerprints of the pattern have already appeared in 2026. Here is the 50-year playbook. Part 2 is what it's doing to you right now. This is Arthur Logic. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you a pattern that has repeated 3 times in 50 years. And it's starting again. Let's rewind to October 1973. A family in Ohio pulls into a gas station, and the price on the sign reads 39 cents a gallon. They fill up, pay about $5, and drive home. By March of 1974, that same gallon cost them $1.35. A 350% jump in 6 months, according to Energy Information Administration records. But the gas pump was only the first place the pain showed up. Within months, grocery bills climbed: bread, milk, eggs, everything that had to be trucked or grown with fuel. By the end of 1974, inflation hit 12.3%, the highest the country had seen in a generation. That Ohio family got a cost of living raise at work. They also watched their savings account buy less every single month. The Federal Reserve responded the only way it knew how. Interest rates climbed. Mortgages that started the decade at 7% ended it at 13%. Car loans became expensive, credit cards became expensive, and real wages, what your paycheck actually buys after inflation, stayed below their 1973 level for the rest of the decade. The family did not lose their money in a crash. They lost it quietly, one grocery trip at a time. 17 years later, it happened again. August 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait. Oil sat at $21 a barrel the day before the invasion. 3 months later, it was trading at $46, more than double according to EIA historical data. By October, the average American was paying $1.38 a gallon at the pump, up from $1.06 that summer. The script from 1973 repeated almost line for line. Gas prices moved first. Grocery prices followed within 3 months. Inflation climbed from 4.8% to 6.1%. The Federal Reserve raised rates. Mortgage rates pushed into double digits. Consumer confidence collapsed. The United States slid into a recession that lasted 8 months, and unemployment climbed to 7.8%. A working family in 1990 earning $35,000 a year saw their fixed costs, gas, food, heat, rent, eat an extra $180 to $240 a month out of their budget. Over the 18 months that followed, that single war 6,000 miles away quietly drained the equivalent of a month's salary from the average household. Most people blamed the recession. Very few traced it back to one 90-day spike in the price of a single commodity. Then came 2022, and most of you lived through this one. February 24th, Russia invaded Ukraine. Oil was trading at about $92 a barrel that morning. By early March, it was $123. By June, the national average for a gallon of gas hit $5.01, the highest nominal price in American history, according to AAA records. Grocery bills followed on the same delay as 1973 and 1990. Beef, poultry, eggs, wheat, all climbing. Inflation peaked at 9.1% in June 2022, the highest in 40 years, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The Fed raised rates faster than at any point since the 1980s. Mortgage rates went from 3.1% in late 2021 to over 7% by late 2022. Credit card APRs pushed past 20%. And real wages, that quiet number that measures what your paycheck actually buys, fell for 26 straight months. A household making $75,000 lost roughly 11% of their purchasing power in that window. 11% of a $75,000 income is $8,250. That is a used car. That is a year of daycare. That is 6 months of rent in most American cities. Gone, not stolen, not invested badly. Just quietly evaporated in the space between a raise and a receipt. 3 oil shocks, 3 different decades, 3 different wars, and the same 5 fingerprints every single time. First, gas prices spike within 30 to 90 days of the conflict. Second, grocery prices climb within 3 to 6 months. Third, rent and housing costs follow within 6 to 12 months as landlords and lenders price in expectations. Fourth, the Federal Reserve raises interest rates to fight inflation, which makes mortgages, car loans, and credit card debt dramatically more expensive. And fifth, the one almost nobody sees coming, real wages fall and stay below their pre-shock level for 18 months minimum, sometimes years. Your paycheck number might go up. Your paycheck's purchasing power goes down. 3 oil shocks in 50 years rewrote the American paycheck 3 different times, and the only thing that changed between 1973 and 2022 was which war was on the news. The 5 fingerprints landed on the same families in the same order every single time. Now look at where we are right now. 20% of the world's oil moves through a single 21-mile stretch of water called the Strait of Hormuz. Since February of 2026, that strait has been open, closed, and open again more times than anyone can count. Oil has moved. Gas at the pump has moved. Grocery prices are starting to move. The first 2 fingerprints of the pattern, the exact same ones that showed up in 1973, 1990, and 2022, have already appeared on the 2026 timeline. The Federal Reserve has not moved yet. Rent has not adjusted yet. Real wages have not been measured yet. But the playbook is running, and if you've been watching the news and feeling like something is off with your grocery bill, your gas, your rent, you are not imagining it. You are 3 months into the same 18-month pattern your grandparents lived through, your parents lived through, and you lived through just 4 years ago. Part 2 of this video breaks down exactly what 2026 looks like fingerprint by fingerprint, how much it has already cost the average household, and what the people who came out ahead in the last 3 shocks actually did with their money, so you can do it before the 4th fingerprint lands. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Before you go, drop your age in the comments and tell me which of the 3 shocks you remember living through. I want to see the timeline of this channel stay logical.